All right, thank you for staying with the Monday Report. The town hall session begins right now. My stakeholders in the education sector are already here with me. My guests are also with me. And let me set the context of this conversation. So 3 months to the first competency-based education, grade 9 to 10 transition, there seems to be a clear divide that is emerging. While private schools are at an advanced stage of preparedness to take in the first cohort of the senior school, many public institutions remain in limbo. So the school heads and teachers tell of their concerns, given the low investment into the improving learning facilities that should be more technology-driven, with the arts and sports science pathway facing an uncertain future. Our reporter Emily Chebet examines the level of preparedness ahead of the Pioneer CBE cohort next big move.
In less than 3 months, Kenya's education system will undergo a major transition. The competency-based education designed to build skills and practical experiences among learners will see the first cohort move from junior to senior school in grade 10. But as the transition beckons, the gap between schools remains glaring, and with it inherent quality of service. In private institutions like Happyland, which has a junior school in Nairobi and a senior school in Kajiado, the last 8 years have required investment into facilities. From classrooms, laboratory infrastructure, and integration of technology in learning has come at a cost to cater for the needs of learners.
We are offering the 3 pathways and 7 tracks. They will need more facilities than just the 844. That is why we have enhanced even our farm, which will give the students an opportunity to practice the subjects that they are being taught, and also as a source of food, fresh food.
The arts and sports science pathway is expected to take up to 15% of the class. Many schools may struggle to offer given the low pace of investment in the sports facility at schools. The school here has been deliberate.
We are coming up with a lawn tennis court, a modern field that we are upgrading to ensure that they have all the sport, the racket games, and even the indoor games. We have established very well the chess, the badminton, all those.
At public schools, however, the expansion has been slow. And even though the government has been financing part of it, it is mainly in construction of additional classrooms at secondary schools, construction of 1,600 laboratories at junior schools, with limited equipping in most cases. At the senior schools, most institutions have experienced limited investment to facilities, sparking concerns over equity and quality of CBE education. Teachers at public schools in Nairobi who requested anonymity as they are not authorized by the Ministry of Education to speak to the media admit that preparations are minimal, with most waiting on government support even for basic facilities.
The big shift in CBE is that the classroom will now be child-centered, will now be learner-centered. The teacher will be there as a facilitator. Maybe we shouldn't even call them teachers anymore, because their job will not be to teach. Their job will be to guide the learners to the knowledge and ultimately the competencies that the learners are expected to achieve or acquire.
The Starehe Boys Center director warns that this shift demands significant investment.
We will be offering STEM. It may be the same old subjects, physics, chemistry, biology, computer science, agriculture, but being taught in a different way, a more resource-intensive way. This calls for more laboratory sessions. It calls for more laboratory chemicals, more laboratory specimens, because it's a lot more about the child exploring and discovering and being hands-on.
While Starehe, a Category 1 previously national school, has far fewer struggles given its decades of attention, questions abound as to what happens to students in rural schools, many without computers, internet access, or even electricity.
I'm sure your average Kenyan child from a rural school somewhere in the depths of this country, the closest they have probably come to a computer is a smartphone. And even that may not be guaranteed. Whereas that child going to a private primary school or junior school in Nairobi probably already owns their own tablet. Okay, you begin to see the inequities there.
Grade 9 students begin their final assessment in 2 weeks. The CBE framework calls for inclusivity, with every school required to have a day weighing option to accommodate more learners. But what is the reality on the ground?
The numbers of schools probably does not guarantee a school in the neighborhood that a child can walk to, especially for an institution like ours that has a national mandate and is trying to find these poor, talented, brilliant kids from every corner of the country. So we will continue to be primarily a boarding school.
For now, 1.13 million grade 9 learners prepare for the final junior school assessment. It is also a crucial basis of placement to senior schools. The assessment will account for 60% of their final score. 20% will be taken from their score 3 years ago when they sat the KPSEA assessment at the end of grade 6, while the balance of 20% will be based on learners' grades in grade 7 and 8. Emily Chebet, Citizen TV.